Welcome to this online Queen's Athena SWAN celebration. In 2020, a year of many firsts, this is our first ever online Athena SWAN celebration. It will be different than the event that we held earlier this year in January, when we celebrated our institutional silver renewal and pharmacy's school silver renewal. On that occasion, we met together in the Great Hall, actually in person, a somewhat distant memory now, sharing refreshments, taking photos, and all of this in 3 dimensions. Today, through the format of MS Teams, our celebration is perhaps more 2-dimensional, but it is not diminished in any way. You will hear from our Vice-Chancellor in just a few moments exactly why we are celebrating. The much overused word of 2020, unprecedented, is also relevant on this occasion. Schools in Queen's have had unprecedented successes in the November 2019 and April 2020 rounds. We will hear from the heads of school what the awards mean and some reflections of their progress in gender equality. Each school today has a unique story to tell. Some are celebrating their first bronze award, marking their excellent progress in gender equality work. Others will tell of sustained progress in renewing their silver awards. And 2 schools will share their gold success, reflecting on lessons learned, impacts achieved, and the way forward. Our schools celebrating today are building on the work of many others. People in Queen's who have been committed to making our schools fair, supportive, and collegial places to work. Within diverse disciplinary subject areas, working cultures have been co-created by people. People who believe that an enabling culture allows everyone to reach their potential, but importantly fosters kindness and a sense of belonging. Athena SWAN Awards have 2 main components, the ongoing work in the school and the application itself. Neither are insignificant tasks. Applications are evidence-based, requiring massive amounts of data and evaluation. The co-creation of a 5-year action plan represents the school's commitments in writing. Schools are committed to delivering their action plans, and we know that work has already started. SWAN champions deliver a significant proportion of this work on behalf of their schools, providing sensitive leadership in gender equality. The dedicated self-assessment teams include women and men from all staff categories and student representatives. Borrowing from a music analogy, SWAN is not a solo act, but it is the work of a choir, with members representing diversity of voice coming together in harmony. As we celebrate this afternoon, may I offer our warmest congratulations to schools who have received awards in 2020. I'd also like to acknowledge the hundreds of people who have contributed to the ongoing work of gender equality and inclusion and diversity more broadly. I now invite our President and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ian Greer, to speak.
Well, thank you, Karen. I'm really delighted to be with you all today, albeit virtually, as you say, although that's an approach that we've all become very accustomed to this year. Indeed, we've just done our strategy consultation using a virtual town hall event. However, with the very unpredictable year that was 2020, that still is 2020, it was just fantastic to see our continued success with the Athena SWAN Awards. And that's why we're all here today, to celebrate the university's outstanding success, your outstanding success in the recent Athena SWAN Awards. It's a real testament to you all that we're once again being recognised as a UK leader for gender equality practices in higher education. Your achievements in the latest round of SWAN Awards is very impressive. Not just one award, but a raft of accolades. And I want to offer special congratulations to the School of Medicine, Dentistry and Biomedical Sciences for gaining a gold award. That's our 3rd gold departmental award for the university, another important milestone on our equality and diversity enhancement journey as a university. So many congratulations also to the School of Biological Sciences for the renewal of their gold award. And I should say that Queen's is only one of 10 universities to hold gold departmental awards. And I'm sure you'd all agree that 3 gold awards is really an impressive achievement. So it gives me enormous pleasure to congratulate each of you on your commitment to this work. I'm also delighted that we've retained our institutional Athena SWAN Silver Award, one of only 19 universities with a silver award, along with 16 SWAN departmental awards, 6 silver, 7 bronze, in addition to our 3 gold. That's not just something that's really impressive, but it's an achievement that we should all be incredibly proud of. These achievements didn't come about by accident. They came about through hard work and dedication from the staff in the schools, in People and Culture, in the Planning Office, in the Queen's Gender Initiative, and indeed across the university. So it's a true team effort, a choir, if you like, as Karen said. And I'd like to give some special mention to the dedicated, hard-working and visionary staff who led and co-wrote the applications, the SWAN champions. And I think we should thank them individually. So we've got Anna Tristram and Paul Murphy from AEL, Edel Hyland and Moira Dean in Biological Sciences, Leslie Morland and Karen Rafferty in Electronics, Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, Gabrielle Desciara and Miriam Arredondo Arachivala in Maths and Physics, Danny Soban and Joe Butterfield in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, Karen McCluskey and Michelle McKinley in Medicine, Dentistry and Biomedical Sciences, Susan Clark and Mark Linding in Nursing and Midwifery, Renee Prendergast and Sylvia Tieran in Queen's Management School, and also thanks to the many colleagues who supported the applications, and in particular the SWAN Project Manager, Dr. Victoria Montgomery, the SWAN Academic Lead, Karen McCluskey, and the former ISAT Chair, Adrienne Scullion. Thank you all. It's really, really impressive, and I'm so proud to be in a university with this level of commitment to the SWAN process. Finally, we mustn't forget all the support teams from People and Culture, the Planning Office, Queen's Gender Initiative, as I mentioned earlier, including Leanne Matchett, Leanne Stewart, Carolyn Fitzmaurice, Pete Speak, Erin Davidson, Colin O'Prey, Cathy Carey, and of course the ISAT members and colleagues acting as critical friends and champions. Thank you so much. Now, the awards are not merely a recognition of merit. They go to the very heart of our university's vision. Our vision of a world-class international university that supports outstanding students and staff, working in world-class facilities, conducting leading-edge education and research, all focused on the needs of our society. The SWAN Awards are important precisely because they underline these values. Values of leadership and quality, of opportunities for all, widening participation. And so I'm really proud to say that Queen's is a leader in that area. We've created an environment in which the role of women is fully valued, and we're committed to promoting gender equality. So even in this very challenging year with a global pandemic, I'm delighted to congratulate so many colleagues who've risen to the challenge with so much resilience. Our success in 2020 represents the largest number of school awards made in a single year to Queen's across all disciplines. I'm sure you'll agree this is a truly fantastic achievement. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for the role that you've played and continue to play in making a positive difference at Queen's, and for your continued commitment to gender equality. It really is appreciated and very much valued. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of everyone in the meeting. We're now going to hear from our schools, and you heard from the Vice-Chancellor that the long list of schools who are celebrating on this occasion. In organising this event, we asked the heads of schools to prepare a short video, and we thank them for taking the time to do this. And thank you also to colleagues in the MRCI Directorate for collating this for us to enjoy. This video will last around 14 minutes, and I ask you to bear with me as I try to screen share, and hopefully I will get this right. So enjoy.
My name is Karen Rafferty, and I am currently Head of School for Electronics, Electrical Engineering and Computer Science. This year we successfully renewed our Silver Swan Award, and I am personally delighted by the outcome and want to thank everyone involved for helping us to retain and renew our Silver Award. EECS was one of the first academic schools in electrical engineering and computer science within the UK to attain a silver award, and everyone has worked incredibly hard to ensure we keep reviewing and refreshing our people action plans to ensure we are the best that we can be. Our SAT team have worked incredibly hard to promote our SWAN action plans and to ensure that the actions that we take have tangible benefit and impact for our staff. We have strong ambitions to not only retain our silver, but to aim to achieve gold in our next submission. At Queen's, our SWAN working policies have helped a great many people to achieve a good work-life balance. For me personally, I am first and foremost a mum to 3 young children. My children have all enjoyed the wonderful experience of the QUB creche and after-school clubs, and they have loved it. In fact, they have loved it so much, they sometimes refuse to leave at collection time. But having these amazing facilities at Queen's and being able to avail of the flexible working hours has meant that I have been able to balance my work and life commitments, and for that I am truly grateful. So I am very proud to lead a school that is always trying to improve our practices so that we can embed equality, diversity and inclusion throughout and ensure that our school community can thrive both at work and at home.
It is with great pleasure that I have the opportunity to celebrate our school's success in again being awarded the Athena SWAN Silver Award. And this award could not have been made possible without the hard work and dedication of our SWAN team, led by Dr. Danny Sobin and Dr. Joe Butterfield. As the following photograph shows, we have come a long way since the mid-1970s, where at that time the school was all male and rather homogeneous, to today where we are a welcome mix of gender and diversity. 20% of the school's academic staff are now female, which is on par with the national average for all engineering. And our undergraduate female population in mechanical and aerospace engineering is 18%, which is above the national average. And moreover, we are almost parity for our product design engineering program. But we won't be resting on our laurels. We will continue to celebrate and promote diversity, and will work towards being deserving of the Athena SWAN highest award in due course. So, in closing, again, to my SWAN team, excellent result.
As head of the School of Arts, English and Languages, I know I can speak for all of our staff when I say how incredibly proud we are to have achieved a bronze award from Athena SWAN. The award is an accomplishment in itself, but its true value to us is that it exemplifies our shared commitment to the value of gender equality in the workplace, and speaks to the deep interest so many of us in the school have in investigating the ways in which gender operates in the world outside, and how we can play a more active role in ensuring that all forms of gender bias, and there are many, are called out and ended. I would be remiss if I did not offer special thanks to Anna Tristram and Paul Murphy, who as SWAN co-champions shepherded our application through the process, to the entire SWAN SAT team for their support to Anna and Paul, and to the entire staff of the school for their help throughout. We know the work is very much just beginning, but we are very happy in this most strange time to take a moment to celebrate this great achievement. Congratulations to us all.
Congratulations to everyone in the School of Nursing and Midwifery on the receipt of our third Athena SWAN Award. What a marvellous achievement, signifying as it does that equality and diversity are really at the heart of everything we do. We couldn't have done this without a real team approach, and so a special word of thanks to Susan Clark and to Mark Linden, our fabulous SWAN champions, who helped to make it all happen, along with the SAT team who did a lot of hard work in the background. I want to assure you that moving forward, the Athena SWAN agenda is a very important objective for this school, and we will continue to build equality and diversity in everything we do going forward. Thanks again and well done everyone.
Queen's Management School is a very diverse community. About half of our staff are international, and we have a diverse student body, particularly at postgraduate level. For us, promoting diversity is about fairness, but it is more than that. It is about making the most of different talents and perspectives. As a management school, we aim to develop a culture where every member of staff can realise their full potential, and where every member of staff sees contributing to this objective as an important responsibility. We teach others about management, so we have a special responsibility to be exemplary in our own approach. We see our Bronze Award as recognition of the valuable work that has already been done, but more importantly, it provides a management school with a plan for work in the next 4 years.
Good afternoon. My name is Pascal McKeown, and I am the head of the School of Medicine, Dentistry and Biomedical Sciences. My colleagues and I are really delighted that our recent application received an Athena SWAN Gold Award, making it the second medical school and the only school in the UK offering courses in dentistry and biomedical sciences to hold an Athena SWAN Gold Award. Our SWAN champions, Professor Karen McCluskey and Professor Michelle McKinley, have shown exceptional leadership of our programme, and we have worked tirelessly with staff and students across the school to embed gender equality as part of our culture. The self-assessment team includes staff of all categories and grades, as well as students from both our undergraduate and postgraduate programmes. We received wonderful support from our faculty and Queen's Gender Initiative colleagues. I would also like to note the excellent contributions from Catherine McKeown and Edel O'Hara, in particular for their work in relation to the professional support staff. All of this requires dedication, commitment and teamwork. We are delighted with the impact that we have had on staff mentoring, support for career progression, disseminating best practice, and national and international beacon activities. There is still much work to be done, ensuring that we deliver on our ambitious Gold Action Plan, which will support all our staff and students to reach their full potential. This is a time for celebration, and I extend my sincere thanks to all who have contributed to the development of a very supportive and inclusive culture in this school. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Mauro Paternostro, I'm the head of the School of Mathematics and Physics, and I would like to warmly congratulate the SWAN self-assessment team within the school on their fantastic success in renewing the Athena SWAN Silver Award to the school until 2025. Mathematics and physics are two very unfair disciplines in the sense that too many groups of individuals are underrepresented. Too many, far too many. And there is a lot of work that needs to be done to make sure that we build a much more inclusive work environment where everyone coming from one of any actually of these groups of individuals has the same opportunities to grow as a professional, as a researcher, as a lecturer in tackling issues and problems in mathematics and physics. And the work done by the school's team has addressed exactly this need, and is therefore a great pleasure for me as a new head of school to be able to congratulate the school's team on this excellent result. Many thanks, and let's aim to the goal now. Okay, bye.
So another Teams meeting, and this time though it's to celebrate success of the School of Biological Sciences. So we've renewed our Gold Award for the second time. That's really a remarkable achievement.
When I first got involved in SWAN as school manager, there was only one female professor in the school. The academic lead who was taking that forward sat with her head in her hands because she just quite simply did not know what to do. She faced a lot of negativity, but she inspired a lot of people with her leadership and her just willingness to take on that challenge and to see it through. So I'll pass on to Adele, who she kindly passed the baton to.
As former SWAN champion, I'm really proud of the fact that all these efforts, all this legacy that we had is now impacting others on their journey. And I was really happy to see that one of the really positive aspects of our application was our outreach or beaconing activity for the All Ireland event. And I felt that was a really success story for us as a SWAN. And I'm really happy to see that that's been taken south of the border and incorporated down there.
So Adele, just to say, I used your speech this morning to yet another place to inspire them to take that forward. But I suppose, thinking back, I think one of, because I talked about it this morning, it's fresh in my head. One of our achievement was getting the 10 female professors. I remember the time when I was the only unique one, which was wonderful. And I think it was there for a couple of years. But, and we promised 4, if you remember, for 2019. Application, and we ended up with 10. So that was a really fantastic achievement, and it's something that we really should be proud of.
As a student, that the presence of Athena SWAN at the school is having a really positive impact, and it's great for the students to have these female role models that we can see mentoring throughout the school, and have women on these influential panels is great for us to see.
And I'm very pleased to be taking on the role of one of the new SWAN champions for biological sciences, representing all of the staff in the school. Paul and I have huge shoes to fill in our new roles, and I hope that we'll continue with the great success the school has achieved so far.
Yeah, huge shoes indeed. I think it might be a bit worrying for us now that we have to continue with these achievements. But I guess we can worry later, because right now it's time for celebrating. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Cheers.
So I hope everyone enjoyed our video. Having heard from all of our schools, their different journeys and their reflections over the work that so many people have put in to awards that we're rightly celebrating today, we will now hear from the School of Medicine, Dentistry and Biomedical Sciences, who, as the Vice-Chancellor reminded us, are celebrating their first Gold Award. So we now invite Professor Pascal McKeown, Head of the School, and Professor Michelle McKinley, Director of Gender Equality in the school, to speak. And we're looking forward to hearing from Pascal and Michelle as they look back and share some of the highlights that has brought the school to this point. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Karen. I think somebody is going to share the slides for us. We have a couple of slides that Michelle and I will just run through. That's perfect. Thank you very much. So we're delighted to talk a little bit about the journey that we have been on over the last 10 years. Next slide, please. So we've heard a lot of commentary around the fact that this is a virtual celebration. This was our last in-house celebration back in 2016 over in the School of Law, where we had an opportunity to meet in person. Likewise, next slide, please. We've had an opportunity to meet other schools and other universities on the national stage, showing here our first award of the SWAN Silver back in 2013. We have Professor Johnson, who was then head of school before he became Vice Chancellor, Professor Karen McCluskey, and Dame Julia Higgins, who was one of the founding members of Athena SWAN. And then in 2016, Karen and I had the opportunity to travel to Liverpool to receive the award from Sir Paul Nurse. He's one of the patrons now of the Athena SWAN Charter. Next slide, please. So our journey actually started back in 2010, and you'll note that our first application was unsuccessful. We were obviously deeply disappointed at that time. We had a period of reflection, and our Gender Equality Office was established. We then since then we've had our Gender Equality Director on our Senior Management Board, and we were challenged at that time to look at both the structures that we had, but also the culture within the school. Next slide. So we were delighted then with our initial success in 2012 and the renewal of our Silver Award in 2016. Obviously, a lot of work has been going on since then, and we're absolutely delighted with our award of the Gold in 2020. Next slide, please. So similar to what Professor Valson had shown in the video presentation, this is the physiology department back in 1968. You'll see that there were 8 members of academic staff, all of whom were male. Next slide. I arrived at Queen's in 1979, and this was the equivalent physiology department in the early 80s. And you can see at that stage, there were 2 female members of staff, Dr. Ruth Gilmer and Dr. Judy Allen, some of whom you will remember. And then if we look at the next slide, this is a cross-section of our academic staff in an equivalent department, that of biomedical science, in 2018. And you can see that we've made very significant progress with 9 female members of staff. I'll hand over to Michelle at this point.
Thank you, Pascal. Next slide, please, Karen. Thank you. So I guess the hallmark of a Gold Athena SWAN Award is sustained progress, impact, and beacon activity. And I'll just give you a few examples of our achievements in this regard. We have seen an improvement in female representation across the academic pipeline. Notably, we have seen a sustained increase in our percentage of females at senior lecturer, reader, and professor level. And we have sustained this despite, for example, the loss of a significant number of female professors through retirement in 2014. In terms of academic progression, females are as likely as males to apply for promotion, which hasn't always been the case, and females are as likely to be successful, and this really helps to feed that positive academic pipeline alongside our efforts through recruitment. Next slide, please. We've also paid attention within our school to changing practices to promote inclusivity. For example, the timing of our public lectures and school board, we ensure that they take place within core hours. And even in pre-COVID times, we started to record our school board meetings to allow more people to access the content. We also aim to address any historical gender inequity within the school. For example, the Barcroft Lecture is a prestigious lecture and medal in physiology or medicine, and for the last 10 years has been given by a male speaker. But in 2019, the lecture was female, and that is our start to redress the gender inequity in this area. Next slide, please. Following on from this, we are obviously know the importance of promoting positive female role models within the school, and in 2018 the annual Gender Equality Lecture was named the Dame Ingrid Allen Lecture, and it's the only named lecture after a female in our school. And Dame Ingrid Allen had a very prestigious career as a professor of neuropathology at Queen's University. Next slide, please. Another example of our beacon activity is our Gender Paradox in Health Sciences Conference, which we held in October 2018. Next slide, please. And this slide just shows the reach of that conference, and indeed reflects the reach of our beacon activities in general. So we had delegates attending that conference, not just from Northern Ireland, but from all over the island of Ireland, as well as from the UK more widely and across Europe. And next slide, please. But I just want to end by saying that the thing that we're most proud of is the positive culture in our school, where gender equality is embedded in everything that we do. And creating a culture that supports, empowers and motivates everyone is crucial for not just achieving but sustaining meaningful progress in gender equality, and indeed for equality, diversity and inclusion more broadly. So I'd just like to end by extending congratulations to everyone for their success in achieving their Athena SWAN Awards, and I'll hand back to Karen.
Thank you, Pascal and Michelle, for sharing from the milestones of the school's journey towards the Gold Award and allowing us to celebrate with the school today. The last 30 minutes have been a brief snapshot of the many minutes, hours, days, weeks, months and years of work by 8 schools and many people across Queen's. At the January 2020 celebrations earlier this year, I said that gender equality is everyone's job, and at Queen's it's everyone's success. And the stories that we have heard this afternoon belong to all of us. As if anyone needs to be reminded, this is 2020 and everything was more difficult for everyone and for our SWAN champions and their teams. We learned that writing and completing applications via MS Teams was possible, but that was because of the collegial relationships that were formed in our schools and across our university before the pandemic. We've learned so much about working from home and flexible working since March 23rd. In our lockdown way of working, our core values of being connected and having real ambition are exemplified in the schools who made submissions in April 2020, and indeed those who submitted applications in the November round just 2 weeks ago. And it is a time to acknowledge everyone. I need to acknowledge and thank 2 colleagues who have contributed so much to the successes today, not least because it's 2020, but mostly because of the amazing role that they do. Thank you to Victoria Montgomery, our project manager, who provided really exceptional support to our champions during lockdown. And our champions, they were writing SWAN applications on behalf of their schools, but they were also delivering education across new online platforms. They were supporting their own research teams, homeschooling children, caring for others and getting through the COVID-19 challenges. And Victoria spent many hours giving one-to-one advice across teams and critically evaluating drafts and making sure that deadlines were reached with quality applications. Thank you also to Kathy Carey for coordinating the SWAN Champions Network and the QGI mentoring programs during lockdown, providing bespoke support whenever people needed it most, and also for organising this event today. Thank you, Kathy. So what's next? Well, in 2021, QGI will celebrate its 21st anniversary and events will take place throughout the year. The new year will also be a milestone in our work towards a future university level Gold Award, and this is a long-held ambition in Queen's. Alongside this, we will continue to progress our work in the Race Equality Charter, which Queen's joined earlier on this year. But before all of that, at home or wherever you're watching this, turn on your videos, if you can, and raise a cup of Earl Grey tea, your coffee of choice, a seasonal hot chocolate, or another drink as we celebrate together, and turn on your microphones. Congratulations, everyone.
Cheers, Karen.
Cheers.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
Well done, everyone.
Well done.
Well done, everyone.
Well done.